In Fire and Blood, we read of a man called Hugh. Hugh was a low-born man from Dragonstone. He grew to become a blacksmith and was described as tall and very strong. When the blacks called for dragon seeds to ride their unclaimed dragons, Hugh came forth and claimed the bronze fury, Vermithor. After establishing himself through battle as a competent dragon rider, Hammer's ambitions became more, and he started envisioning himself on the Iron Throne. "Why be a lord when you can be a king?" he told the men who began to gather round him. And talk was heard in camp of a prophecy of ancient days that said, "When the hammer shall fall upon the dragon, a new king shall arise, and none shall stand before him." When and where this prophecy originated remains a mystery, but not from Hammer himself, who could neither read nor write. Before any such prophecy could be fulfilled, Hugh Hammer was killed by Jon Roxton during the Second Battle of Tumbleton, thus ending his path to the throne. However, the prophecy would, much later, prove true. After Rhaegar Targaryen was struck down by Robert Baratheon's warhammer in the Battle of the Trident, Robert became the first king of the Iron Throne not bearing the Targaryen name, thereby ending the over 200-year-long Targaryen reign. Most readers would come to the conclusion that the prophecy was fulfilled when Robert took the throne. However, I am not entirely sure that the king that the prophecy refers to is Robert. Let us look at the exact words of the prophecy again. "When the hammer shall fall upon the dragon, a new king shall arise, and none shall stand before him." The final words, "and none shall stand before him," does not seem to accurately describe Robert, as many still thought him a usurper, and the remaining Targaryens had escaped across the narrow sea to regather their strength and possibly invade in the future. The words, "and none shall stand before him," originally appears in many translations of the Bible. Here I am quoting Daniel 11:15 through 16. "So the king of the north shall come and cast up a mound, and take the most fortified cities, and the armies of the south shall not withstand. Neither his chosen people, neither shall there be any strength to withstand. But he that cometh against him shall do according to his own will, and none shall stand before him. And he shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed." I will not go into detail about the exact meaning of the verses, but I think it is interesting that in the Bible, the words, "and none shall stand before him," is referring to the king of the north, a king that will take the cities in the south and consume the glorious land, and no people can stop him. This king of the north sounds very similar to the Night King that we see in the TV show Game of Thrones. Although he has not yet appeared in the books, I think this prophecy may hint at it. I think it is possible that when Robert Baratheon ended the Targaryen reign with his hammer, the Night King may have thought it time to start forming his army and start moving south. Perhaps thinking that now that the Targaryens were gone, no one could stand before him. I also think it aligns nicely with what was said in House of the Dragon regarding Aegon the Conqueror's dream, that when the threat of the North comes, a Targaryen must be seated on the Iron Throne. Although Robert had Targaryen blood from his grandmother, he was certainly not one of them. He despised the Targaryens and wanted them extinct. So if we assume that the king that shall arise after Rhaegar's death is the Night King, what does it mean that none shall stand before him? At first glance, it may seem that the Night King simply cannot be stopped by anyone from consuming the South. However, I think it is possible that the prophecy originates from another language other than the common tongue, High Valyrian for instance. The Bible verses I referenced were originally written in Hebrew, which has caused them to be translated to English in many different ways. Another version instead translate what I previously quoted as, "and none shall stand before him," to, "and no one shall stand against him." If whoever translated the prophecy confused no one for none, it could change how it is interpreted entirely. Because if it should in fact say, "and no one shall stand before him," it could foreshadow Arya Stark, who is now calling herself No One, being the one to stop the Night King in his pursuit to the south. This is of course what happened in the TV show, and although I sincerely hope that things play out differently in the books, I like the idea of Arya killing the Night King being prophesied so far back. That marks the end of this theory. Thank you for watching. Please let me know if I made any mistakes in my reasoning, and also comment if you think that the theory is possible.